In this video, we're going to look at how to find the mean from a data table. So here I have a data table. Now it doesn't mean anything right now. You need to understand what the columns are. So the first column will be whatever data we're studying. So you can think about how many lessons you have taken part in today. Did you just have 3 lessons, 4 lessons, 5 lessons, or did you have a whole 6 lessons today? In the frequency column, it's how many people. So 10 people had 3 lessons today. 11 people had 4. 2 people had 5 lessons and 9 people had 6. If this data was written out, you would have 10 threes followed by 11 fours followed by 2 fives followed by 9 sixes. Now, we don't want to have to deal with data that's written out for us. It is easier, but it's long. If I had to write out a 3 10 times and then 11 times write a 4, this can get quite tedious. And then to find the mean, we'd have to add all these numbers up and divide by how many numbers there were. So there must be a quicker and more efficient way of doing this. This is how we do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new column. And my new column I'm going to call fx. Now calling it fx is a great idea because it will help remind you what on earth this is. What fx is the frequency times by the data. You'll notice here I put x for data, so I knew that was x, and f for the frequency. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to multiply each frequency by the data. Why am I doing that? Well, because that will give me the sum of everything. So if I have 10 threes, so I've got a 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. How much do they all add up together? Well, my fx column tells me to do 3 times 10, and you should have figured out by now they would add up to 30. Right, let's do it with all of them. So I'm going to do 4 times 11, which gives me 44. 5 times 2, which gives me 10. And 6 times 9, which gives me 54. So what have I done? I have multiplied these two columns. That's what I get when I add up all my 3s. That's what I get up if I add all my 4s. That's what I get if I add up my 5s. And that's what I get if I add up my 6s. Now, we need the total because the mean always asks for a total. So what I'm going to do to these numbers is add them. 30 plus 44 plus 10 plus 54. And altogether that gives me 138. So altogether my numbers add up to 138. Now how many numbers were there? It's tempting to say, well, I've got 4 different types of numbers, therefore there were 4. Let's say we did that. So that would mean we take 138 and we divide it by 4. And that would give me a mean of 34.5. Now a mean is an average. It's how much they add up to, or how much the data is equal to on average. Look at my data. 3, 4, 5, 6. Imagine if you'd had 34.5 lessons in one day. That's far too much. So I can see that something's gone wrong. So let's have a look at what's gone wrong. We need to find out how many numbers there were. So in the first category, we had 10 numbers. In the next category, there were 11 numbers. Then there were 2 numbers. Then there were 9 numbers. So what I'm going to do to all of those numbers is add them up. So I have 10 plus 11 plus 2 plus 9. And I know a lot of you could do that one in your heads. And that gives me a grand total of 32. I had 32 different numbers, 32 pieces of data. And now, as ever with a mean, we add and divide for the mean. We're going to divide these two. So the mean is 138 divided by 32. And 138 divided by 32 is 4.3125. So on average, people had about 4 lessons a day. Does that make sense looking at the data? Oh, definitely. Look, the majority of people were here, so 4 makes absolute perfect sense. Now, you don't need to round. The usual story is we round if and only if they ask us to. So in this particular case, I am not going to round. Right, if you need to see this video again, please rewind and watch it again.